Hi guys, it's Professor Fernandez, and I am here to talk to you a little bit about how to put together your research log for the semester. This is a really important piece of doing your research. As you go about doing your coursework for the semester, as you go about doing research, as you go about doing Google searches, you're going to want to keep track of all that. And a good way to do that is through the research log. I will be asking for the research log a couple times during the semester, and you want to keep up with it. So this is not something that you want to do the day before something is due. This is something you want to keep up with. Because if you keep up with what you're researching, how you're researching it, and whether something is a viable source or not, you'll be able to do your research paper a lot easier. So let's go ahead and get started. What you're seeing here in front of you is actually one of my former students' research log. And so I actually made a copy of it. So you can do your research log a couple of ways. You can do it with longhand, actually writing things down in a separate piece of paper or in a journal, if that's what you want to do. If that's what you want to do, it's fine. For some of us, it's easier to keep it in something like a Google Drive or a OneDrive. And what you're wanting to do is that you're wanting to do a spreadsheet in either Google Drive or OneDrive. And it's pretty easy. So let me go ahead and open this up a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. And all the tabs I have open. I usually have a lot of tabs open. And so let's take a look at the first row here. And so rows go left and right, columns go up and down. And so let's take a look at the first row. The first row is literally titles all of the columns. You have the dates, so it's the date that that the item was published, not the date that you found it. When you found it doesn't matter. It's the date that the item that you're looking at was published. And then you have the headline or the title, and you want to copy and paste it if you possibly can. You want to know who the author is, who wrote it. And then here is what's so interesting. It's the website/database. Now, if you're looking at a website, you can easily go to the top, like right here, copy it and paste it here. If it is a database, you don't want to use what's happening here. You want something called the permalink. And here is why you want that. If you copy and paste this that's in the address bar and you put it in the website database column, you're not going to be able to get back to it. And that's the whole point, that you're keeping track of everything, and if you want to go back to something, you can. You won't be able to go back to it. And when we get closer to the research, and there's actually an activity where you actually do some research and you actually go into the databases, you'll know where the permalink is. Then you want keywords. Keywords is the words or the phrases that you use to get the results that you have. So for example, this particular student used the keywords detective, spelled it wrong, but detective process, Adnan Syed, defense team. So they put all of this in Google and they got this article, right? So they got the Adnan Syed 4 key pieces of evidence, which sounds like a pretty good article. And we go into the keyword searches and what keywords are in about a week or two. But the reason why you want to keep track of the keywords is that sometimes you can tweak things. Like for instance, you can take out the word detective process or take out defensive team and probably put defense and get a completely different outcome. And if you have a completely different outcome, you'll get a different article, and that may be an article that's useful. And so if you have a series of words or a series of phrases that you use to search that is helpful, you want to write that down, and you want to make sure that you can return to that or tweak it to get more useful information. conversely, if it's something that is not helpful, you use these phrases and they were not helpful, then you may not want to look at them again. So that's why you write down the keywords. So summary here. The summary here is what this thing is about. What the article is about, if it's a good article, if it's a bad article, not good or bad, but pretty much this is what it is, and this is useful. You also have a column that says, will I use it, why or why not? And this is an important column. Apparently the student didn't think it was important, but it is. And this is why it's important. It's important because there will be a paper that you will do later on where you will have to write what sources that you looked at and why you will use it and why or why not you will use it, whether it's viable or not, whether it's credible or not. And so this particular thing will help you actually do that paper very quickly, because the turnaround of that paper is within a week or two. So you usually get about 3 weeks to do the papers. So that's what it is. So let me show you how to do it. So I'm going to go into my particular Google Drive, which has many, many things, by the way. And I'm going to hit new, and I'm going to hit Google Sheets here. And a brand new spreadsheet will come up. And what you want, as it's still loading, on the school's internet here, what you want to do, the first thing you want to do is that you want to label it. You want to say research log, right? And of course, if you're in the cloud services like a Google Drive or a OneDrive, it will save it for you. And then you want to go ahead and put these wonderful columns here that we saw before. So the first one we saw was date, right? So you want to use the word date. And then you want to use the words headline or title. And remember, the date is the date that the article was written, not the date that you found it. The headline or title is the actual headline or title of the thing. I don't know if you actually kind of saw what I did here to make these cells a little bit bigger. I kind of hovered over it until I got this arrow, and then I clicked and dragged over. So I make them a little bit wider. So I can write what I need. Then you're going to write author. It's pretty much who wrote it. You're going to write website or database. Link. So this is the link you're going to use, right? Again, remember, you hover over there for the arrow and you drag it to the right. And again, remember, if it's a website, something you Googled, you can go to where the address is, copy and paste it there. If it's the database, you're going to want the permalink. All right, you're not going to want this address. The next column is the keywords. You're going to spell it correctly. And again, these are the words or phrases that you use to search to get this result. And then, this is the important one. Will I use it? Why or why not? You want to take your, well, first of all, you want to spell things correctly. How about that? But you also want to make sure that you fill this out. Again, this is going to be a time saver when it's time to do that paper. You may not want to fill this out right away, actually, because you may not know if you need this article or not until you get closer to making a decision. Now, you probably saw in the last one that we had that it was green here, and made it look pretty. You can do what you want to do and make it look pretty. That I will let you Google and YouTube to figure out how to make it look pretty, and how to do the wonderful like filling in of the colors. It's up to you. or you can just leave it as is. But that's pretty much what you're going to do. You want to put this research log in the same place where you have all your English stuff. So you want to create an English folder in your Google Drive or in your OneDrive and put it right in there. And so you have access to this at all times. So if you happen to be at the library or a library, or if you happen to be somewhere and you are Googling something very quickly, maybe while you're eating or maybe while you're waiting for class to start, and you find something you like, you can actually write it down here and you'll have it. Okay, guys, that's all I got for you. I hope this was helpful and that you learned lots. I will talk to you guys later.